Just last week, there was an update to Seesaw that makes it easier to mix and match, or what I call smash, different apps. Um, so you can take and have Google Classroom as your main learning management system. Your students are going to come there each time, and you can use that to attach links to different activities and websites and many other programs that make it very easy to link with Google Classroom. Up until last week, Seesaw was sort of a standalone. You could put links into Seesaw, but you couldn't post a student assignment in Seesaw somewhere else. They would almost always have to start with Seesaw. So this update allows us to go into Seesaw, into a Seesaw class, go into activities, and choose or create an activity. And I have one that I made earlier this week, talking with the teacher about how to get Eureka practice sets in the hands of students. And this particular group is working on graphing. And so to me, if you're going to ask students to do graphing activities at home that you aren't around to collect, the two choices I suggested was Seesaw and Pear Deck. And this particular teacher was more used to or more comfortable with Seesaw. So we created an activity, and it is a third grade activity, but fourth grade teachers are using third grade skills to catch up on what was missed. So if you're not familiar with how to make a Seesaw activity, you might want to watch a different video. This Seesaw activity is already made, and I'm ready to assign it to a class. So I'm going to pick my training class, and I could decide which students in that class would need it, maybe only a couple of them, I don't know. And I did put in one of our students so I could show you what it would look like on the iPad when that student opens it up and clicks on the link. I can also choose which folders it goes in. So if I don't have folders already set up, I could. This is a math activity, so I would click here. But if math wasn't already here, I could click here and add another folder. So maybe I want one for phonics, and change the color. The check mark, that adds another folder here. Right now I don't have any items in the other folders. This private teachers only folder would be if you wanted some things that were more of an assessment and you wouldn't want it to show up on the journal or to share with the family. It's just for you to gather information on that particular child. So then I hit check mark. I can also check off skills. I know that this is a graphing skill, so if it's not already showing up, I could do a search or I could add a new skill. And I don't remember what that skill is, but I would type it in and I would fill in this information and hit check mark. And then that skill would be listed or connected to the activity that we're making. So I've got it assigned to that class. And then it says, do you want to see the activity in the class? So under activities, there is our new assignment. When students or teachers come back to this, you can click here and it will show you the kids that it's assigned to. And if a student is working on it as a draft or they've already turned it in, then this wouldn't be gray anymore. You could click on it and work on it or grade it. The other thing I want to show you is, since it's already assigned to that student, I can click on the ellipsis or the three dots and I can get a student link. So it's going to let me copy the student link for that particular assignment, and I'm going to go back into my Google Classroom class where I want my students to start each day. We have a list of weekly assignments. This one is not editable, but I want to link it right here so that when the students are finished with our morning Zoom on Monday morning, they're supposed to go into ClassLink and begin working on Eureka Math Lesson 1. I'm going into my editable slideshow and I'm going to highlight the words that I want to link to that Seesaw activity. So I'm going to click here and insert a link and then just paste the link that I copied from Seesaw. If I update this on the editable version, it changes the published to the web version. I may have to refresh, but now that link is there. If I close Seesaw altogether, now when the child clicks here, it takes them directly to Seesaw. If they have been signed in recently or if they've ever signed in if they're not signed in, it'll ask them to sign in, but then it'll sign them in. And if you notice, I'm not on the journal, I'm not on classwork. It took me right to that particular assignment that the child is supposed to work on. It works just like the rest of the Seesaw. I can click here and listen to the directions.
To show your work. Use the label tool.
I can click here. There's a link of a reteaching. It talks to me in this link. It tells me how this activity works.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Seesaw. We're so happy you're here to learn with us.
Okay. Down here, this is a link outside of the activity. It's a tutorial for students. Maybe they've never used Seesaw before. So step 1, click on the link below to find out more about how Seesaw works. Step 2, now that you know how it works, move to the second page. So when the child's working on the second page, which is not the actual assignment because I didn't click on add a response. Here, I have to be one of these students. So I'm going to pretend to be this student in one of our virtual academy classes. Here's their worksheet. They're ready to do the real work on this page. They have to find the total number of stamps for each student. They've got to draw a tape diagram with a unit size of 4 to show the number of stamps each student has. The first one has been done for you. So Dana has each one stands for 4. Now, let's say this particular sheet is hard to see. I can zoom in to a section, zoom out of a section. I can draw on the slide, which I did not mean to do. So here's my eraser. And something strange about this. This isn't the activity I thought I was assigning. But anyways, let me figure out why that is. I didn't finish, so I would hit draft. If I did finish, I would hit the check mark. When I hit draft, drafts are not visible to the student. It uploads, and this draft is showing here. Since you can capture that activity link for Seesaw lessons, you can put them into Google Classroom as a specific assignment as well. Once I copy it, if I didn't want to put it onto a choice board like this one, I can actually go into Google Classroom and create an assignment under classwork. And I could just start like I would any other assignment. I would go ahead and click on add the link, put it here. I would fill in my directions at the top. I could decide which class it goes to, what topic it's going to go in. So I've filled in the description and a title. I've got the link there, and I'm ready to assign. So the students would come to their Google Classroom class in the classwork section. That one I happen to put in math. Down here under math, when I click on it and I open it and I click on the activity, the assignment, or the link, it takes me right in to where I left off. Hopefully that's helpful.